What is going on? What's going on, everybody? It's James Hollingsworth on the Working People's Podcast, where everybody desires to build generational wealth and a financial legacy for their families. And I got the dude, my buddy, my friend, the homie in the house. Come on, tell him who you are.
And Tyler Chimchak.
And not my guy right here, man. This dude right here. This is a great opportunity. Come on in, everybody. Join us on this live show because, man, this is going to be a fire, hot topic conversation tonight. Hey, so if you're watching on YouTube, I'm going to try to be monitoring that page over on YouTube. But if you're watching on YouTube, do us a favor. Go ahead and press that subscribe button here on the Working People's Podcast. Throw us some thumbs up and some likes like that. Also, go ahead and drop some comments below. And do me another favor. Ring that bell. Ding, 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 ding. You know why? So you can get notified when we upload new videos and new content. Also, we are streaming live on my personal Facebook page, James Hollingsworth. And we are streaming live on the Working People's Podcast Facebook page. So drop us some hearts. Throw us some thumbs up. Drop us some comments below. Come on in the house. And also share this video because this is about to be a great conversation. And a part of what we're going to talk about is, do you really need, we're talking about absolutely need, do you absolutely need to have a college degree and a fancy title behind your name to be successful? Just right out the gate. What do you think, Tyler?
Personal opinion, because I don't have one, is no, you do not. In my case, you know.
Yeah. So Tyler, you're from Michigan, right?
Yes, I am. Born and
raised.
But
you're not currently in Michigan.
No, not currently. Currently sitting in Fort Payne, Alabama.
In Alabama.
Today.
So, I thought the dude was in Michigan, right? I thought he was back home because he just got back from. You want to tell him where you just got back from?
Yeah, man. I spent 3 weeks in Australia, traveling around for work, doing a little bit of stuff for myself too in the meantime. But yeah, 3 weeks in Australia, a couple days home visiting family with the holiday, and then back here in Alabama, and I'll be in Georgia tomorrow.
So with that being said, you got to now give us, some background about yourself. Tell us, if you're comfortable telling us how old you are and stuff like that, just so everybody in the audience can know, because I got some other questions that eventually I'm going to ask you kind of as a setup because I want to prove a point. Just kind of give us your background. How old you are, what you do for a living, and how did you get started doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I'm 29 years old here. So for the last 11 years, I spent that doing oil and gas work. Currently, I'm an occupational health and safety advisor for a global energy company. So we operate in North America. We operate all over Canada, the UK, over in Greece, and then all over Australia as well.
Okay.
So all the gas, all the energy you use, all the electricity, part of that comes from us all over the world.
Got you. All over the world.
Yeah, all over the world. No, I got started out. I was 18 years old and I got my diploma from high school. So about less than 2 hours after I got handed my diploma, I was getting in a truck with a duffel bag packed, heading to work for the same company that my dad worked for. At that time, it was doing underground electric for wind turbines.
Mm-hmm.
So kind of got into that because I wasn't sure what I wanted to do after high school. I wasn't sure, I did great in high school with grades, but I wasn't sure if college was for me. So I kind of took that opportunity and had if you're not going to school, then you're getting a job. I had other jobs, but this was, in a sense, a grown-up job is what my dad would have called it.
A grown-up job.
Yeah. So.
Hey, a lot of people don't realize that, guys that do what you do and similar type of work, right out of high school, pretty much right out of high school.
Oh, absolutely.
Why do you think that's the case, though? Is it really that philosophy of if you ain't going to school, come with me.
I'll give you 3 reasons, right? First one being cost. Especially now, inflation, everything going high, a lot of money to do things, Not every family can afford to send their kid to school. Not every family can afford to give their 18-year-old, high school student a vehicle. So not only do they not have transportation to school, they don't have the ability to get the money. They could do a loan, but the loan won't work because they're afraid that they can't afford to pay it back.
Yes.
Number 2 being historically skilled trades work construction, pipeline work, oil and gas, doing overhead power lines, being a lineman, things like that. Skilled trades work, it's not considered, college, but it is schooling. It's furthering
Yeah,
your education,
absolutely.
learning at skilled trades,
Hmm.
and that draws a lot of people in because you can make over $100,000 a year being a laborer. Digging holes and digging ditches and locating utilities. You can make over 100 grand a year with the right company if you're willing to work the hours. That's the thing, though. You got to be willing to work.
Bruh.
And then the third reason is, people go into skilled trades and construction, things like this, rather than go to school, uh, because they don't know what they want to do. You're 18 years old. Heck, I didn't know what I wanted to do till I was close to 25. I knew I wanted to make money, but I didn't
Yeah.
know what career I wanted to have. So those
Yes.
are, essentially the three biggest reasons is cost, historically the money you can make doing that kind of work, what your dad, what your grandpa made, what your friends make. And then also, the third thing is you don't know where you want to be as an 18-year-old kid. 7
Facts.
years old, you might want to be a cop. 18 years old, you have no clue. You might want to go
Facts.
party with your friends. You don't know that, 10 years from now, you might be going to school to be a doctor.
Facts. Hey Tyler, so recently, a couple days ago, myself and my co-host Deisha and my sister Aubrey, we did a video called. It was part two of a video, aging gracefully, but our
I watched a little
subtitle.
bit of that,
You
yep.
did watch a little bit of that.
Yeah, I saw you guys pop up. I was watching that, yep.
The Golden Girls, right? And so one of the things we pointed out is we kind of talked about. I call it like a myth of this whole wage gap between men and women. And so you and I, we were kind of talking briefly before we got on live about a diversity program that your job has. My job has a diversity program. But one of the issues is actually getting women to either apply for or to actually pursue different types of endeavors that require more labor intensive jobs and things like that. Jobs want to build this diversity, and the jobs pay. I mean, ridiculously, they pay ridiculous. But tell us, you tell us, because I've said it, but maybe somebody needs to hear it from somebody else too about this wage gap between the men and the women in certain fields.
Well, I mean, just to start off, right? So we're not stating
Right.
opinions or thoughts or things like that. But historically, the facts are that men are paid more than women in a lot of different fields. Most fields. That's a historical thing that's been going on for 100 years or so.
Yep.
So it's not an opinion; it's just a statistic. Do I
Yep.
like it? Do I not like it? Those are invalid things. I think everybody should make great money. If you have the skills and you can do the job, you make whatever money that would fit that job and that skill set. But
Hmm.
historically, no, because of the fact of the matter is, every business wants a certain percentage of diversity. Whether
Absolutely.
it's different ethnicities or whether it's percentage of females versus male, it doesn't matter. But in my case, the work that I do, a lot of our positions and a lot of things like with construction, you're not going to find females that want to do labor intensive work. There are a lot that do like the work. They do a very good job. I've worked with a few. I've had a lot of
Absolutely.
female counterparts,
Yep.
inspectors, different people that hold higher ranking jobs. They rose up through the ranks from hard work. They were great. Very smart, very intelligent, hardworking. But you have to find the person that wants to do that career. So wanting a certain percentage of diversity for looking at women versus men, it's very specific on the job role. I mean,
Absolutely.
engineering. You look at engineering. We have a lot of engineers that are female in my company. We have a lot less females that work as operators and mechanics and so forth, just because of what it is. It is what it is when it comes to the work.
Hmm.
Looking at jobs, not a lot of females are going to want to go work 12-hour, 14-hour days in the hot sun with a shovel, or in a hot garage. That's just what it is. There are those exceptions, and I'm
Yep.
not saying that they can't do it. That is not what I'm saying. Absolutely, they can do it. They just historically are not doing it.
Absolutely. So it's kind of really comes down to what we were saying in the video is it's choices, and sometimes we stir our children toward what we call passion. And one thing I pointed out in the video was men, passion, we want to know what pay the most.
Yep, no, it's true. It is true. You might love a job, but heck, I love this job. But if I make 20 grand more, I'm going there. I mean, there's a lot more to it than that. But
Right.
first thought, 100 grand versus 70 grand. Of course, you're going to go
Yeah.
for the 100 grand.
Yeah. Right. I mean, and truth be told, Ty, I remember you and I talked about your recent job change doing what you do now. In your previous employer, they were paying you well.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I made a huge pay jump doing the same job I'm doing now, but on a larger scale. So I do deal with things globally. But yeah, I jumped. I love the company I used to work for. It was amazing. But the better opportunities, no longer, it's not disloyal for people to leave a company. It's not disloyal
Absolutely.
to work somewhere 5 years and leave. I mean, the average adult, every 5 years moves or go to a different career. That's statistics. But when you look
Now,
at it, it's about benefits. It's about what's right
yep.
for you and your family. It's
Hmm.
about maybe you have a sick family member and you want to move and find a job closer to them. It might be less pay or it might be more pay. But passion, even though that you want passion to be a part of it, you want to do a job you love.
Hmm.
Realistically, passion doesn't play into it when you grow up and you become more of an
An
adult.
adult.
Less passion. It's more about benefits, money, location. And I hate to say it, but it's true. That's just the fact. You
That's
know?
just facts.
Some people are lucky; they get to do what they love. Luckily, I love my job very much, but not everybody gets to. But you have to
Yep.
do it to put food on the table.
I mean, I love what I do too. I really enjoy what I do, and it just so happens that in both of our cases, it pays great.
It does, and it took a lot of hard work. It took me, I mean, 11 years of basically living out of town, living away from home, missing birthdays, missing parties, missing family events. Relationships couldn't work, but those are sacrifices I had to make because I wanted to make money and do a job.
And be
There's
successful.
sacrifices you have to make, whether it's time, whether it's family, whether it's relationships. Some people want to make those, others don't. There's no right or wrong answer. It's just what fits for you.
Now, something I thought about too is, this whole idea of college, which I don't knock it either, but you're talking about a lot of people that two things, is I don't know if a lot of people really sit down to think about the end game when it comes to school. I think they're led by this whole idea of passion, but then when people go and get degrees, oftentimes they come out of college and they don't even get a job in the related field that they had their degree or their field of study. And then also along with that, a lot of times I see where people go into an absorbent amount of debt
Hmm.
and accumulate just an astronomical amount of debt to complete a degree, and then they go on to more advanced degrees, graduate school and all this other stuff. And man, the debt just keeps piling up and piling up and piling up. And then at the end of the day, for me, when I look at the bottom line, well, how much am I getting? What kind of value am I getting out of this education in terms of return for my money? Because I got an investment background and an investment mindset, so I'm always looking at rate of return and the rate of of interest. What type of return am I going to get back from all of this time, all of this debt that I'm accumulating? And for
Absolutely.
me, I don't see the benefits sometimes, and it baffles me, especially when I see people go and get masters or they move on to graduate school, and then I look and see, well, they didn't even get no better job or didn't get no bump in pay as a result of it. They did increase their debt overall for this, but I don't know. What do you think about that, man?
Well, I have a very personal opinion with it. I mean, I'm a safety advisor for a global energy company, right? I got to spend 3 weeks in Australia. I fly all over the U.S. I get to meet great people. I get great opportunities. My company is great, right? I went from being a laborer, working, on pipeline, working, digging with a shovel, finding utilities, being the laborer, being the guy that has to run around and do everything for everybody else. I moved up into different positions, equipment operating, being
Mm-hmm.
and moved into project management, did those kind of things, and then I moved into safety, and I did all of that without a college degree. Right?
Without.
I have a high school education, but the mentors I had, so the guys that didn't go to college either, heck, some of the guys that didn't even graduate high school, maybe they dropped out in the ninth grade, but they had life experience, they had experience at the job, right?
Absolutely.
So education doesn't always equate to a skill set. Just
Oh,
because
no.
you're educated doesn't mean that you can do that job. It just means that you have a certificate saying that I paid a certain amount of money, I passed tests, right? So me personally, I'm actually in school now, going to college to get my bachelor's degree in occupational health and safety. I'm doing a advanced 2 year degree, so I'm doing it in 2 years rather than four. But the
Mm-hmm.
downside of that is I pay everything out of pocket up front, so no loans or anything. Fortunately, I can pay for that because of my career and what I make now in savings and things like that, investments, what I did. And not a lot of people have that opportunity. But I did what I do now. I have a great job. I travel all over the world, and I did that without a college degree.
Without,
Yep,
without.
without it. Without it.
You,
My interview for I had a recruiter call me about the job that I have currently. I told him, I said, hey, I have tenfold of what your requirements are. My resume, I will blow that away of what your requirements are. I do not have the 4-year degree. So they took a while. They got back with me, and because of my skill set, because of my experience, what I did, what I can do, I add to the company's value, they overlooked the 4-year degree.
and how old were you when you stepped into this role?
Well, 28. So
Yeah,
it was 11 months ago. I'm
28.
doing that currently. So 28
28
years
years
old.
old, y'all. Y'all hear that? 28. So he came right out of high school and he hit the ground running, as my mama would say.
Absolutely. It was, and it goes back to my dad. I mean, you've met my father.
Yep.
Not, that guy. He's an operations manager, and he runs a huge network for his gas company, right? That he works for. So he's an operations manager. He runs a lot of things and all that with a ninth grade education.
Well, ninth grade.
Ninth grade education, and that
Oh,
man
y'all,
makes great
come
money,
on.
great
Come on.
benefit, great career. He's getting ready to retire.
Absolutely.
Right, he can go
Absolutely.
do whatever he wants, and he is the best at his job. People call him because he's the best at his job, and he has a
Absolutely.
ninth grade education, right?
And a
And
ninth
he is
grade
smarter than I
education.
will ever be at most things. When you get construction, you do a lot of things with project planning, things that I give myself 30 years I couldn't learn, and he has a ninth grade education.
Bruh.
Yeah.
Here's the one thing I want to point out with that, Tyler. And no, folks, be clear on this. We're not saying that there's no value in college and no value in degrees. But check this out. A lot of people don't understand, the level of schooling that some people get. Some people only do the bare minimum to get by, just to get the degree. They tell them read this book. Guess what they do? They read that book, and that's it. When you step into this world doing the type of work that we do, the certifications that's required, the testing, the training that's annual. Sometimes some stuff is every 2 years. This ain't for the weak and faint of heart, is it, Tyler?
No, no. I mean, the amount of training, the amount of hours you put in, we're not just workers. Even when I was just doing laboring, or you meet a laborer, it's not just a guy laboring. Laboring has to go through a lot of qualifications, a lot of
Federal
quality items.
federal certifications.
Yep. I mean, legislative requirements that you have to do, company requirements, pipeline requirements. There's so much training that even at that level that you do that people don't realize. They just think, oh, there's another guy on the highway putting an orange cone out. That's
Right.
not the case. And I'm not discrediting college education or any education, but it is not meant for everybody. If you're going to
Absolutely.
be a doctor, you're going to be a surgeon, you're going to go be a dentist. Yeah, absolutely. College education is critical for roles like that, but not everybody wants a role like that. So
Mm-hmm.
getting a degree just because that's what the culture says you need to have as soon as you get out of high school, it's not
Mm-hmm.
true. You don't have to get
Yeah.
a degree at 18. I'm 29 and I'm just now getting my degree. Find what you love and find a job that you care about. Learn a skill set. Try 10 different things. Learn 20 different skills, out of high school. You don't have to go and get a master's degree. I have a lot of friends that have master's degrees and they don't even, they barely make over 50 grand a year. Not that that's bad, but I'm saying when
Right.
you're paying over $100,000 for an education, and not only that, but the time and effort you put into it, you
Yep.
want that rate of return to come back. And a lot of
Rate of
times you
return.
don't get it. If you find a job that you love where you're happy with that amount of money, that's perfectly fine. You could have 30 grand a year. You could make 2 million a year, right? Nobody is better than anybody else. It just depends on what you
Absolutely.
like. But the opportunity is there, and just not every opportunity, you know, it requires a college degree. Certain things do, but not every item.
Facts. And I also want to dispel this ideal, and sometimes it's an unspoken um, thought, but it's often we feel it and see it in the way people interact with us. Oftentimes, Tyler, you know what I'm saying? Where people think that, like you said, oh, he's just some dumb guy that's putting cones out. Or
Oh,
he's just
absolutely.
some guy that could just get up on a piece of equipment and, no. I've worked with some people that may not have, the schooling, but are some of the smartest people I've ever met in my life.
Absolutely. I have one of my good friends that he was a huge part of all of the projects that I did, years ago, and he went and he got a degree for psychology. He wanted to be a psychologist, right? And you know what he does now for a living? He's a head of project management for a large construction company.
He does
So he went to
construction.
school to be a psychologist, got a master's degree in psychology, and he ends up being a project manager for a construction company because he found out that he was very good at what he did. He never
Yeah,
thought that that would be something he did. He started it as a summer job while he went to school and found out that not only did he love it, but he was the exception and he was the absolute top person for the job doing that.
yeah.
Project management came natural to him, you know? So that
So
degree was not pointless,
yeah,
but it turned out not to be something that he used the rest of his life.
not exactly. So me and my co-host Deja, we talked about one time about how we met in college. Her and I, we were attending Baker College together, and at the
Mhm.
time, I was doing a double degree, business administration management, and getting a double bachelor's degree in that and in
Oh, you're doing a
finance,
lot of work.
right? But then I came across this opportunity with the company that I work for, and I was like, why am I going to keep putting this money into degrees that I'm not even going to use in this work that I'm doing now? And I started off running a shovel, making double what folk that I know had a degree making.
Oh, absolutely.
Running a shovel when I first started.
I had opportunities when I was, 19, 20, 21, 22 to come back and work at home. I'd work 40 minutes from home. I could get different jobs like that, but the money wasn't there.
Mm-hmm.
My biggest thing was I thought at the time that my world would end because I couldn't hang out with my friends right out of high school, or, I wasn't there every night to go party at a bonfire with them. And I'm glad I didn't because I stayed true. My dad helped me out a lot, as in telling me that, work was more important, building a career, and it turned out now that I'm glad I did. That hard work paid off, the effort paid off. If I would have went back home and I would have worked for those $8 an hour, I would probably still be making a minimum wage job, which is not. There's nothing wrong with that.
Right,
But for
right.
me personally, it was something that my talents and things that I'm good at would have been wasted on.
Absolutely. Would have been wasted. Now, Tyler, so I want to do something. I want to do
Yeah.
something because you didn't see the title. Unless you're looking at it now,
No, no,
you
I
still
haven't
don't know
seen
what
it.
title
No,
I put
no,
up.
I have not.
So the title that I put up on the video is called "Would You Date a Blue Collar Guy?"
Oh, man, my girlfriend's gonna love that one.
Yeah, your girlfriend's gonna love that. So I want to prove a point right now on something because quite often I've ran into it. You and I have had some brief conversations, and you've ran into it. Oftentimes, women look at guys like us a certain way, and we don't appear to be initially attractive to them at all.
Oh, absolutely. No, I agree with you 100%.
Because nothing's flashy. Look how you dress now. You got on a ball cap, probably a cap. A lot of times we wear hats of
Mhm.
different companies that give us vendors that give us hats
That's
and
one of my
stuff,
favorite things, man.
and we wear
I
them
got
proudly,
a
right?
closet full of ball caps. Yep.
What kind of shoes you got on right now?
Oh man, I got Red Wing work boots.
Red Wing work
Yep.
boots.
Yep.
So I want to ask you a series of questions. So what I want you to do is, I'm going to be like the woman, you're meeting for the first time, and she's going to ask you a series of questions that we often hear. And I don't want you to really elaborate. Just give the straightforward answer to the question, right? Because I want to prove a point
Yeah.
that a lot of times when people meet guys like us and they ask us these questions, I'm going to submit to a lot of ladies that oftentimes they ask us the wrong questions.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna plug my computer in so it doesn't die during those questions.
Please do.
Oh, yep. Give me 30 seconds.
Plug in. Plug it in. Plug it in. That was about Glad air fresheners, wasn't it? But in this case, it's going to be of Tyler's computer. Plug it in. Plug it in. When you get that beep, 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 and a little red dot, red line at the bottom, you need the juice. So Tyler is getting his electric to his laptop so he won't die in the middle of the questions. So if I got anybody in the comment section, ladies, would you date a blue collar man? I want to hear from y'all. Let us know. Would you date a blue collar man? Especially when he answers these questions and don't nothing about what he answers sounds sexy. It don't sound stimulating. It don't sound exciting. You don't hear a bunch of swag in it. The dude is wearing Red Wing work boots. Say that fast 3 times. He's got on a hat of give him a break or some other type of construction vendor. He's just walking around with a t-shirt on. He's not fancy and flashy.
You find that you spend less on clothes the more happy you are with life and things like that, right? Clothes don't matter. A t-shirt, $10, $10
t-shirts, $10.
To me, that's the real winner. I might not have on, Gucci or something like that, but $10 t-shirt, that means I can go spend $30 on something else.
Exactly, man. Come on now.
$30 on my Mexico vacation I'm going on.
So you ready for these questions?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, first I want to ask you is, are you single?
No, but in some terms, yes. If you consider not being married single, then yes. But if you consider just having a girlfriend, then no, I'm not single.
So he has a girlfriend. But ladies, if you were out just meeting a guy like him and just say he wasn't married or whatever, you'd be like, "Oh, you single?" And the guy would say, "Yeah, I'm single." He's not married, right? But he has a girlfriend. Tyler has a girlfriend. We want to make that clear. So she watched this.
So I don't get myself in trouble there.
We ain't trying to get my brother in trouble, right? Yeah. So then you would go on and you would want to know. So, do you have any children?
I do not. No kids.
Oh, ding, 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 ding. So they ringing the bell now like a single man. No children. He's 29. Yeah. He's 29 years old. Oh, my. So now she want to know. Do you have your own home?
Yes, I do.
Do you have your own home?
Yes.
You purchase a home?
Purchase a home, no.
So that's why we want to know. When you ask, do you own your own home? He lives in a home, but is he buying his own home right now?
No, not at the moment, no.
Right. So we're going to get to why. I want y'all to understand certain things. Oh, so what? Okay, do you have your own car?
Yes, I do.
What do you drive?
2020 Silverado Chevy pickup.
A pickup truck?
Yeah.
Oh,
pickup truck. Not a Bentley, it's a pickup.
Oh. You go to college?
Currently enrolled. Yep, just started online college.
Oh, what are you studying?
Occupational health and safety.
Occupational health and safety?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so what do you do for a living?
I'm an occupational health and safety advisor.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what are your goals? What do you want to do with your life? Like, what do you see yourself like next year?
Oh, well, if we're talking work goals, director positions, president, CEO positions, things like that. That's the 5-10 year goals, even longer than that. So the higher up I can climb, the better. I'm in a good position where I can do that. Family rise, happy with my relationship. So, marriage, family, that's personal goals, marriage and family. So happy family, and then, keep moving up in my career. That's the goals.
So I don't know about y'all, but as he answered those questions, none of those answers sounded real sexy or like real appealing. Like, he drives a pickup truck.
Yep.
He's going to school for occupational. Right? None of that sounds sexy. He didn't say he's going to be an attorney, a lawyer, a doctor. None of that. Half the time, most of us ain't even heard of a degree in occupational health and safety.
No, that conversation we had earlier about titles can be deceiving too.
Titles can be very deceiving.
I might be able to tell you that I'm a lawyer and I drive a Bentley, but you don't know that Bentley is about 23 years old, and you don't know that my job as a lawyer is I'm dealing with car crash claims, and I make 30.
Right. So one of the things that I wanted to show in those questions is, ladies, when you're talking to a blue collar guy, if you want to meet a guy that's out here who's very successful doing the type of work that we do, a lot of times you're not going to get the fancy answers to the questions. Does he live in a house, Tyler?
Yes.
He lives in a house, but do he own the house?
No.
And why is that, Tyler, for you? Tell us why owning a house right now may not work for you, being in the work that you do.
2 reasons. One, the cost of everything right now. So you would be crazy to try to buy anything in this market you would automatically, as soon as you buy, you'd be in the red. So
Mm-hmm.
understanding investments, finances, things like that, and understanding when to buy stuff, that's a big part of it. It's not because I can't afford it. It's not because I can't buy a house or things like that. You got to be smart. Second reason is until just recently, the last 11 months, I traveled 10, 11 months out of the year and I wasn't home. So once again, the return of investment, owning a home wasn't in the cards for me. It offered me nothing except for a place to hang my head, maybe, 30 days total out of the year. To me, paying a mortgage on something like that was not a smart investment. So
Ding,
for
ding,
me,
ding, ding, ding. And see, I know that about the guy, that because of the work that he does. I mean, come on, he was in Australia. Just what? Because I was texting like, bro, when you coming back?
yeah,
Or
no,
are you coming back? Because he looked like he was having a really good
I
time.
tell you what, it was beautiful, man. That time difference though, being 14 hours ahead though, I was like a superhero time traveling.
And then when he got back, and we texted today, he kind of, because he moves around, he travels for work. I'm assuming that when he said, yeah, we can do this at 5:30, that he was in Michigan on Michigan time, Eastern Standard Time. This dude's down in Alabama, and now he about to go to Georgia.
Yeah,
So for a guy doing what he does, he moves around a lot, it's not beneficial for him to own a home. But I've been in the comment sections of a lot of, hey, I'm like a stalker in
yeah.
the comment
That's the thing of
sections, right,
recording
Tyler?
skills, man.
I be on it because I'm always looking for new content, and stuff that can spark something I want to talk about on the show.
Yeah,
And so I noticed that a lot of times some of the requirements that women ask for, they'll say, well, I just want him to have his own place. He needs to own a home because I own a home. He needs to own a home. If he's living in an apartment, we can't do that. But dude, this guy, I don't understand. Some of these guys, how many guys have you worked for in the gas field that they work 2-3 hours away from home? They stay in hotels or they stay in camper parks, RV
99%
parks.
of it. Not
Yes.
99% of the guys that do that, and they're making over 100 grand a year, but they're working away from home. So I mean, it's a sacrifice, like I talked about earlier. You have to make some sacrifices. You might not own a home, but you could go out and buy cash, whatever you wanted. You could go buy
Yeah.
a home right now, cash.
Yeah.
But does that benefit you to own something? No. Just like that, I could go out and buy 10 Apple Watches. I could go buy, I have an iPhone 11. I can go buy the brand new iPhone right now. But what investment does that make for me besides spending $1,000?
Right.
There's a lot more to it than you realize. You got to think of those things. It's not just about how flashy it is or the job title or owning a home or a car. There's a reason for things.
It's funny you said that, Tyler, because I actually know a lot of women that look at your phone. They look at your phone to see what kind of phone you got, and they look at your shoes. So neither one of those would be.
I'm not gonna lie though. I spend more on my work boots than I do anything else. I do have some
Yeah.
nice shoes here or there, but they get just as dirty as my work boots.
People don't understand how much these work boots cost,
No, I
but
mean
they ain't
250
flashy.
bucks. The pair I have on right now, $250. You know,
Right. For a pair of
they make
work
me money.
boots.
They do. Your boots make you money. If you work construction, if you're a blue collar guy, your boots are your biggest thing, your biggest
Yep.
arsenal. You could walk
Yep.
around buck naked if you wanted to. If you got a good pair of boots on, you're good for the day.
Man, guys can have on a pair of dirty boots, and other guys will be looking at their boots and know what kind of boots they got on. Because boots to construction workers and guys doing what we do, boots is like your ladies, it's like your purse.
I tell you what, the worst day for a blue collar person is when you either come in with a new pair of boots that you just bought to replace an old pair that wore out, or when you're a new guy and you started a new company and you buy a new pair of boots, right? You come in, your boots are clean. That's the
Yep.
most embarrassing thing because I always walk in going, man, these guys will think I've never worked a day in my life.
Yep. There's
It's
guys.
just a new pair of boots.
There's guys that will they will spray paint your boots, purposely throw mud on
Oh
your
man, I
boots.
scuff mine up. I throw them in some dirt and mud before I go in. Yeah, if I get a new pair. Yeah. You don't want to come in with a clean pair of boots.
No, see, ladies, y'all gotta understand that about guys doing what we do. A clean pair of boots, that's embarrassing.
Just like the cell phone, man. That's the biggest thing. You need, the newest iPhone, the newest Samsung, the newest tablet, whatever. But here's my thing: if you want a man that has the newest phone, why? Because if he's going to be spending time with you, why does he need to be on his phone on a brand new phone? What's he need a new phone for if he's spending time with you? If my phone does what I need, I don't need a phone to do whatever else. I don't need a brand new phone. That doesn't affect our relationship. It might look
real
good because,
talk.
it looks fancy.
Right, it looks fancy. That's it. It looks fancy. Mm-hmm. So real talk. I know a guy. We don't do name share because we don't want nobody who watched this show to be like, I know what you're talking about. We don't do that. But I know a guy who for the last 9 years have basically lived in hotels. But his wife, who at the time, all that time, she didn't work. She traveled with him. She stayed in the hotel while he was at work. She might have went down to the local dog shelter, rescue shelter, and volunteered with the animals. She living good. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. He working. He goes with her. She goes with him to the hotel. There's times when he worked and he was 4 or 5 hours from home, and he just brought his wife with him, and they've stayed in hotels the last 9 years. He's done that.
Yeah.
He's finally got a job now where he decided, he took a spot where he's still like 2.5 hours from home, but he could drive it every day. But what I'm trying to share with you, ladies, especially ladies, is this guy has the means where he literally could take his wife with him for 9 years and she not work. And all she did was just volunteer and met the people at the hotel and got to know people's friends. And she dog sitted people's dogs. But these are the type of guys that oftentimes you look over. One of the statistics that I share on this show, and I don't know if I shared it with you, Tyler, is 86% of millionaires are married. So I encourage relationships because I know how important it is to building wealth and being financially successful and building a legacy for our families. And so the reasons why I talk about that, and sometimes I gear the content toward our female audience or toward the ladies, is so that they can see that here's the thing. I want to share this because, Tyler, I didn't share this with you, but I want to share this on the screen and you'll be able to see it. Okay. Check this out. This is one of the problems is I hear this all the time. Tyler, have you heard that? Where are all the good men at?
Oh, man, more times than I can count.
They wearing dirty Red Wing boots.
Well, man, you see those Facebook posts all the time where it's, if you want a good man, you're going to have to put up with a guy that works a lot of hours, right?
Yes.
If you want somebody who's easier, you want a good man right now, that's fine. But, somebody that can actually provide anything for you, it's going to take some sacrifice. I mean, I could take you anywhere you want. You want to go on all-inclusive Mexico? You want to go Hawaii? That's fine. I might be wearing some work boots with a cut-off T-shirt and some shorts, and you might not like the way it looks, but, we're here in Hawaii. But that's the things you got to put up with. And I'm not even saying putting up with like it's a bad thing. It's just,
right.
If you want a millionaire and you want to live that luxurious life, that's fine. But a lot of the times for normal people, that package of loyalty, the package of financial stability, trust in a relationship, love,
yep,
that doesn't come with a fancy suit.
And the truth is, a lot of people's perception has become their relationship reality. They have a certain perception of men, and I'm beginning to find out that y'all don't. Hey, Tyler, you already probably know if you've seen any of the shows. Sometimes I put my foot in my mouth and I say some things that can be very controversial, possibly.
And that's the whole point of this, though, man. It's taking some facts and getting conversation going.
It's just the stated truth, though. Look here. The truth is that a lot of times the case is the reason why you don't have anybody that's of marriage quality is because of your perception of men, and you don't really know men. You haven't really even taken the time to get to know who men are, what they are, and what they do. And so therefore a lot of blue collar men get looked over because of perception. And a lot of women's, your perception of certain types of men has become your relationship reality because you're looking for a certain type, and has it really gotten to the place where your preferences has stopped you from walking into your purpose. that your preferences are more important than what your purpose really is. And sometimes I think the problem is for a lot of women, they really don't even know how men think, what men are. And I think that is one of the things that keep them from finding what they say doesn't exist, which is a good man.
No, exactly. I mean, one of the biggest things too is that, I mean, no matter what your perception is, no matter what you think you want, you look at all these people and some of these things on social media where they go, what I wanted or what I had a crush on when I was 20 versus who I married when I was 30, right? And it's the blue collar guys. It's the guys that have a dad bod or a little bit of a belly. They might not have six pack abs. They might not wear brand name jeans.
They don't have time to go to the gym.
Yeah. But you don't know what you want until you find it. There is no, this is what I want. You can have an expectation, but 90% of everybody that I know that are married or people that I've met, they are not what each other expected or wanted, but it's what fit your life and it's what made you happy. So what makes you happy is 100% all the time in a relationship different from what you expect.
Tyler, I honestly know a whole slew of women that will not, they won't date a blue collar guy because they don't. They talk about, I want a man who don't have dirt under his fingernails. That's all you're gonna get with guys like us until we get home in the shower.
Learn how to do them then. I mean, I moved. I lived in a small country town. I graduated with like 58 people. I have 2 stoplights in my town, and a half a mile road. That's what's in there, right? I moved away from there and I moved to Farmington Hills, Michigan. Right? I drive a truck. Luckily, I had a super nice apartment that had a private beach with a bonfire pit. And at this time, I was single. So, trying to date things like that in that area, it didn't work. I like bonfires. I liked hanging out at the lake. I drove a pickup truck. They wanted Beamers. They wanted, you're talking Range Rovers. Nobody wanted what I was in Farmington Hills. So it depends on where you're at. It's just that perception piece kills everything. Because what you think you want isn't necessarily what you need sometimes.
Facts.
Or what you end up realizing makes you happy.
Facts. Tyler, I'm going to ask you this. Yeah. Will you ever in your life again, ever not have a pickup truck?
No.
Thank you. I would never, ever not have a pickup truck.
1972 beater, but I'll have a pickup truck.
I'm going to always have a pickup truck. So ladies, get used to it because guys like us, we going to have a pickup truck. And I know it's not.
You got a pickup truck, right? It might not be a BMW, but you throw an air mattress, a blanket.
Oh my God, bro!
Some candles, and you buy pizza. You put a movie screen out in the front yard.
Facts.
You got a truck bed date. You go to the drive-in movies. You got a truck bed. You know what I mean?
Bro.
Yeah.
Dude, and I've seen your truck, the one you got now, and like my truck. I think you saw it because I had the white one, the white Dodge now that I have. Bro, the back seat, the crew cab, the back seat, you let them seats up, man, it sleeps 3.
Yeah, it's huge. You can, heck, you could plan a whole trip out on it.
Yes.
Yeah, so you can't do that in a car. You're going to dent the trunk, you try to sit on a car and watch a movie.
Man, you could tow stuff. You can throw stuff in the... Man, a truck is so versatile. I would never, ever not have a pickup truck.
Yeah, but you need that blue-collar guy because that gas costs a little bit of money.
Look, hey, all the people that I've been hearing complaining about gas, ain't nobody hearing me complaining about gas. You know why? Should I go get my wallet? Show you? How about you, Tyler?
Wherever I need it, it costs what it costs.
It costs what it costs.
If you can't go places, that's fine. There's nothing against that. If you can, that's great. But like I said, once again, nobody is better than anybody else. But if you don't take those opportunities and you're okay with mediocre, and I'm not saying that opportunities present themselves to every person every single day. You have to work for them, and you got to work hard. But if you're not at least looking, then you're doing something wrong.
Yes.
If you can't afford to drive to hang out with your friends today, maybe you need to look for a different job or a different opportunity tomorrow. Or ask somebody. Like I said, it's not easy. They're not there for everybody, and I'm not saying that you shouldn't be educated. I'm not discrediting education. I'm not discrediting minimum wage jobs. I'm not discrediting anything like that. I'm saying that if there's an opportunity, take it. Never pass an opportunity.
Yes. So, Tyler, perfect what you just said to walk us right into, I want to ask you,
Yeah.
For the young people or just whoever is out there, maybe they're older. Because remember, you and I were talking one time. I say, man, I'm old enough to be your dad.
Yeah, I know. Man, I almost had a heart attack realizing, your age. Not that you're old, but I was like, no shit, man. I thought you were just a couple of years older than me.
Yeah. And so, what
Everybody tells me that.
advice?
Yeah, I
Huh?
hope I'm like you when I'm older, man.
Man, that'd be awesome, Tyler. For real, though. Straight up.
Yeah, but
What
yeah, what's
advice
the
would you
question?
give for somebody who wants to get into skilled trades, who just figure, hey, college is not for me, and they want to do more than just, y'all, please don't take this the wrong way, but I just gotta say it. They want to do more than work at McDonald's or the hardware store. They want to do more, but they may not even know. A lot of guys don't even know that these type of opportunities exist and they're out there. So, what advice would you give a guy, a young lady, whatever, who wants to make a leap into being successful, getting into skilled trades, jobs that require, occupations that require certifications like what we have to do? But what advice would you give? Is it as simple as like a 1, 2, 3, do this? But what would you say?
So it's not as simple as a 1, 2, 3, do this, but I will classify it in I'd say 3 steps, right? And not even steps, just three observations. One is ask questions, right?
Mm,
If you want to do a job, if you want to be a manager at McDonald's and you don't just want to make the burgers, ask what do I have to do? What kind of hours do I have to work? What do I have to show you to make me a manager? Ask
absolutely.
questions. Whether it's McDonald's, whether you're a bank teller and you want to be a loan manager, right? Whether you're an EMT and you want to become a paramedic, or you are a paramedic and I want to go to school to be a surgeon, whatever it is, ask questions. Always ask, what can I
That's
do?
good.
Because if you're okay with being stagnant where
That's
you're at,
good.
you should never be comfortable where you're at, right? You can
That's
love where you're
good.
at, but you always want more. You should always want more, right? Because that's the only way you grow as an individual. It's the only way you grow intellectually. It's the only way you grow as a person, especially relationships and everything. It's not just
That's
jobs.
good.
Those jobs, those finances, that money, it plays into every aspect of your life. There is nothing worse in life than being stressed about money because it makes you a very angry and unhappy individual, which affects every other piece of your life. So
That's
ask
good.
questions. Never be afraid. Always ask, what can I do? When I
What
first
can I
started,
do?
I just was a laborer. I was using a shovel. I didn't know I could do anything more. I felt like I was about this big because I felt like that's all I could do until I
That's
started having
good.
guys tell me different things I could learn. I asked questions. Hey, you do that. How'd you learn how to do that? Right? So ask
Hmm.
questions. Step two, don't be afraid of taking an opportunity. Whether you think you're going to fail or whether you think that I don't know if it's going to fit my life or not, take it. If it's better than what you're doing right now, and not even just if it's better, but if it gives you something to where you wanted to learn that,
That's
don't get down
good.
on it, right? Maybe you're working, and we keep using McDonald's, so I'm gonna stay with that. But maybe you're working at McDonald's, but now you see that, man, I want to go work at the sporting goods store because I
That's
want
good.
to sell sporting goods stuff, or I want to go and sell shoes for outdoor use, for running, for track. Don't
Yes.
don't be scared to take that. You might not know it, but apply for that job. It might say that you need a degree, things like that. Like in my case, I had a recruiter reach out to me. It required a 4-year degree. I didn't have one. I don't. I'm currently working on it now and everything, but at that time I didn't have one. So don't be scared. Don't let things turn you down. Always apply. Apply to 100 jobs if you want. Because
That's
if you apply
good.
to 100 jobs, I guarantee you 1 or 2 will get back to you. There might be more, but at least 1 or 2. So step one, right? Ask questions.
That's
Step
good.
two, do not be afraid to make a change. I was
Mm.
always afraid to make a change, but my dad forced me in a good way, not a bad way, but forced me to take opportunities, get more certifications, do different things out of my comfort zone. And that
Yes.
leads me to point number 3, comfort zones. That's kind of a topic, bullet point 1 and 2, right?
Mm.
Do not get comfortable. If something makes you uncomfortable, work at it, get better at it, understand it until you're comfortable with it. That's the only way that you can get better. Don't try to learn too much. I know that sounds horrible and backwards for most
Right.
people too.
Right.
Focus on one thing at a time. Be very good at one thing at a
And
time.
get it
Right?
real
I
good.
was very good at doing high pressure testing on gas lines. I was very good at doing that. I understood it. I could build testing trees. I could do things in a heartbeat. And I went around and I did that as part of my job for the company all over, different states doing things like that because I was good at one aspect. Once you get good at one thing, get good at something else. always have a pocket full of items, right? So one thing that I love about skilled trades, right? Like you
Yes.
said, we're talking about skilled trades. We're talking about doing work without an education. There's a whole different section you can talk about for doing jobs, for getting education. But what we're talking about is for without education. What can you do to be successful, right?
Absolutely.
So one of those things, you don't have to do schooling, but get good at multiple things. Get a playbook. So you're good at 10 things. That way, no matter what opportunity comes up, your 10 things, you can take one job, right? If that job's full, oh, let me go to skill number 9. I can do skill number 9 and go work here. You want an arsenal of tools.
Absolutely.
So if you don't have an arsenal of tools, you're not good. Me, I keep all my certifications. Just because I'm not doing plastic fusion on pipeline anymore, right? Just because I'm not doing hydrostatic testing, just because I'm not doing different things, in the oil and gas field now that I'm in safety, I still keep those credentials and those certificates because I never know if something's going to fail. I never
Absolutely.
know if my job's going to end if I accidentally mess up because we're all human. I could mess up. I could get fired. I could not want to do my job anymore. Something could happen. Always have those skill sets to fall back on. Right?
Yes.
Never let things go. Always have a skill. That's why skilled trades are so important for the people that can do them and want to do them. And that's my 3 pieces of advice: is always ask questions of what can I do to get where I want to be, because you're never
Yeah,
going to
man, that's good. That's
know.
golden.
Never
Right
be.
there, everything you just shared is worth the content in this
And then the
conversation.
last point here I want to say is it's something that I was mowing the grass the other day, and I
Wow.
always think about things, right? So I was mowing the grass, right? Some things that other people don't do. I got a friend that doesn't mow his grass. He pays somebody to do it. Nothing wrong with that,
Mm,
but he's not one to get dirty. So I was mowing the grass the other day, and I thought, okay, winning, right? What is being a winner, right? Whether you're doing sports, whether you're doing work, whether you're doing something, you win a competition. What is the definition of that, right? People will go, well, I beat everybody else. That's great, okay. But just because you're being arrogant, you're saying I'm the best. Is that really winning? Right? The
mm,
definition that I kind of came up with in my own head of what I define winning as is winning for me is being better than I was yesterday.
come
Right.
on.
So to me,
Yes.
that's winning. So the last point is ask questions, right? Never miss an opportunity, right? Keep a suite of skilled trades, learn different things. Don't just stick to one thing, try to learn. But the last point is don't be and get a big head, don't be arrogant, things like that, right? So keep in mind that winning is not just being better than everybody. Winning is being better than what you were yesterday. As long as you can
That's
always
good.
be better than what you were yesterday,
Whew.
you're
Yes.
gonna you're gonna succeed,
Mm.
right? And everything you do.
I'm gonna type that in the comment section on YouTube because that right there, sir, is golden.
And
Winning.
I had a long, mow in the yard. That was one of my biggest thoughts: is what is winning to me?
Hmm.
It's being better than what you were yesterday.
You were
I'm all
yesterday.
about helping people. I've had a lot of friends that are 10 years younger than me, and I keep them as friends because I help them. Not all the time does it work out the way they follow the advice, but I help them because I've made mistakes. I'm 29. I've made enough mistakes to last a lifetime. Whether it's financially, whether it's buying the wrong vehicle, whether it's doing this, doing that. But we learn from them. If
Yes.
you tell me you've never made a mistake in life that's hurt you one way or the other, that's pretty bad. I don't believe you. But the mistakes are what make
Yeah.
us stronger. You know.
I think it's so important that we had this conversation. And I'm so glad that I keep an open mind and I ask people, so what do you want to talk about?
Yeah.
What's on your heart? What passion? What is a passionate conversation that you want to have? And I'm glad that I keep that door open because this conversation is so important because I know so many people they don't feel very I'm gonna just say confident in themselves because they feel like they didn't get a degree or a college degree or something like this. But having this conversation, showing people that there is a lot of things you can do and be very successful without it and not having it. So if college is not for you, don't feel bad. And we shouldn't push people and force them to make that step and that leap. And they're not, and that's just not for them. Tyler, I don't think I've ever told you this, and this is not even something I tell a lot of people. Every from elementary, grade, everything, middle school, high school, the little bit of college and the college that I've done, I hated school. Never enjoyed school. Hate every bit of school. I only know maybe the names of one or two teachers I've ever had in my
Well,
entire
James,
life.
let me ask you a question now. So you've asked me a few.
Yeah.
Let me ask you one. I know it's we didn't talk about it, but let me ask you this, and I already know the answer because I feel the same way. But what did you learn in high school that you actually use today to be successful?
In high school, this
Yeah,
gonna
high
trip you
school,
out.
middle school, right? What yeah, we learn how to write things like that, right? But the
Yep.
six math classes you take, all the different things that you take that are not. You don't learn personal finance hardly anymore. Different things like that. Is there
Yep.
anything that really, truly that you learned in school that made you
Yep.
successful like you are right now?
Yep.
And you can say yes or no, but just is there anything that really that you took away from high school, from a class you took that led you to where you're at right now?
Yeah. I would say yes.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna tell you which one it is. This gonna trip you out. So I was going to the same. I had always wanted to go to school with my older sister, not my oldest, but the one just above me, my older sister.
Yeah.
She often watches the videos. Angela, if you're watching, I think she knows this. But every time it's like my parents would put me in a different school, and me and her will be going to a different school, even though we are still in the age group where I could be going to the same school. So I was looking forward to going to Clark Junior High School where she was going, and then when by the time I got there, we moved. So then when we got over to St. Louis, I was looking forward to going to the same high school. She was a Central Red Wing, and I wanted to go to Central. So I'm a freshman. I go there, and I have this big old problem with these guys who steal my jacket and stuff, and I reported to the principal. Now they want to beat me up. They literally are threatening my life in front of the principal, and the principal sitting there like he's scared. So my mama pulled me out of the school where I was finally going to school with my sister and sent me way across town as a freshman. I had to catch two buses to get there, way over on the south side. But the class that I took, it was a magnet school under the magnet school program. They changed those names now. They got different stuff now, STEM programs, all that. And the class that I took was mass media broadcasting.
Okay.
We literally did a 15-minute morning radio and 15-minute evening, a radio live broadcast that we had to plan, prepare for, produce. And that was my introduction to talking in front of people and doing this show in high school. That was probably like the only one thing and that I may have enjoyed.
Yeah.
And that kind of propelled me on to, I always thought I was going to be on the radio doing radio broadcasting or, doing some type of, broadcast show or something like that, and be in front of either the camera or be in front of, a mic talking on the radio. Because back then radio was popular and popping and hot. So yeah, I kind of always thought I was going to do that. So here I am on the Working People's Podcast.
No, I got you.
That's pretty interesting. That's it though. Other than that, that's all I can think of.
Appreciate what you do on this podcast. You started it. I followed you since you started it. We've talked a lot when I first met you and everything. And I think it's great. Your personality, what you do and who you are, it's one of a kind. You're just, you're a magnet, one of those people that you genuinely want to be around because you are just a genuinely nice, caring person. Yeah. You like to have fun. You're very outgoing. And it's very hard to find. And I'm not that kind of. I love to have fun. Don't get me wrong. I love people. I get along with great people person. But just the energy you give off, man, it's a magnet for people wanting to be around.
And one thing, I don't want to get lost in translation for people that will watch this particular conversation, is doing the work that we do. You meet so many people.
Oh, absolutely.
Oh my God, you meet so many people. The relationships that I've formed with people, the people that I've met as a result of being in this field that I'm in, has changed my life for the better, man. I mean, changed my life for the better. You, Jeremy, my buddy Chuck, I don't even want to call all the names. My buddy Benny that I'm working with now, but Russ, my buddy Russ that has been on the podcast. Man, the relationships I've formed and the skills that you learn.
But
I'm doing stuff that I've never thought I would be able to do.
Yeah, I mean, going back to those 3 points that I said, one of them was asking questions. Those are great. The people that you met are great because you had conversations, right?
Yes.
Where you shared experiences, you asked questions, things like that. So you don't realize it, but no matter what, those conversations are what teach you a lot. Yeah,
Absolutely.
you learn a lot from training classes and stuff, but meeting people that have been doing different jobs and just life experience, right? Once again, and this might rub a lot of people the wrong way, but the experience you get, whether it's from fraternity houses, people
Hmm.
parties you meet in college, or whether people that you work with, because you're not in college, that's the real experience that matters in life. I mean, when it comes to work, when it comes to anything else, somebody telling you, "Hey, I've been there. You can do this job. You can make more money if you just ask the question or whatever." That's what really drives you. You
Yes.
might not have the confidence, but if you have the right people around you, is what I'm getting at, that confidence will grow, and it'll show up as long as you give it the opportunity to.
Yes. So I'm a big proponent. I say all the time, go to the library and go in the basement and see all the books that are collecting dust. That's no longer the relevant material that's on the main floor. Because the typical average person, even when they go to college and get a degree, guess what they do? They only do what their professors and what the curriculum requires them to do. But if
It's where
you
that asking
really,
those questions to what can I do
yes,
more comes in place. Yep.
bruh, that's why I say what you've shared is golden. If you really want to grow as a person and be successful, always do more than what is required and asked of you to do.
See, and that's the other point too. Is like I said, this is not about discrediting college or continuous education. I'm enrolled in school now to get my bachelor's degree. I'm not doing it because my company requires it. I'm not doing it because anything in my life requires it. I'm doing it because now I'm at a stage to where I'm financially able to do it. Right? I'm comfortable. I know the answers to everything that I'll be asked. And at my point in life, this is a personal thing for me. It's a personal
Yes.
goal I set for myself. Of I'm tired of being asked, "How did you get your job without a degree?" And
Mm,
you try to explain people skill. You try to explain to them experience, things that you learned, how hard you've worked, and you can't put that into words. There's nothing that you can do to put how much and how hard you've worked and the things you went through to get where you're at into words. So,
yes.
like I said, I wanted to make it a point that I'm doing college for myself because it's a personal goal I set for myself. And for any of
Absolutely.
you that can't do college right now, anybody that wants to try to go work skilled trades or do anything, I do have opportunities in my company all the time for men and women, all different kinds of things. You can
Oh,
always reach out to me. I am more than willing, even not in my company, just the network of people I know. I'm more than willing to help anybody.
yes.
Even get a conversation going between two people. But the point
So,
I want
are
to
you
make is not
saying that
discrediting
you won't
college.
have a problem with dropping your contact information in the comment section?
I have absolutely no problem with that.
Okay, well, make sure you do that. Drop
Yeah, no,
your contact so people can reach out to him. Look, this is a guy who's a great resource, man. If you really want to get into the type of work that he's done, and at such a young age, right out of high school, he's a great resource, and that's what we want to provide on this on the Working People's podcast is people that can be resources that can provide some information, answer some questions, tell you how to get your foot in the door, maybe even point you in the right direction. And I'm telling you, there is so much money to be made in skilled trades. Oh my God.
it's about the effort and the work, and yes, just like anything else, people go, oh, it's about who not what you know. That's not the case.
Mm-mm.
That's what people say when they are not confident in their job or they're just not taking the right opportunities. So the
Man.
whole point, the whole reason, James, I wanted to do this with you, and I brought it up to you when I messaged you about this, doing the podcast, is back in the day, I felt like I was about 1 inch tall. I didn't have any,
Mm-hmm.
didn't know what I wanted to do, didn't have any skills. I didn't know where to start. I had a lot of good mentors along the way. The top one being my dad helping me out and stuff. He told me he didn't care if I cleaned toilets for the rest of my life, but I better be the best toilet cleaner in the world that there is. And the biggest thing that I can tell people is don't feel small. You're not small because you don't have a big college degree. You're not small because you got a degree from a trade school rather than a university. You're not small because you went to community college instead of Harvard or University of Michigan or wherever, Ohio, wherever you're at. Not that I want you to go to Ohio.
Right. Please don't.
Right, right. Please don't. But education wise, if that's where you fit, go ahead. But no, the biggest thing is don't feel small. Nobody is better than anybody else. You might have a different opportunity. Your life might present different choices, but nobody is better than anybody else. You're just at different paces. It doesn't matter what you might not meet your goal till you're 50. Doesn't matter, right? The part is that you meet your goal.
Yeah.
That's the biggest part. So don't feel small about anything in your life because the best thing you can do is just keep moving forward, right? Never
Yes.
sit there. So don't feel bad. Don't feel sad. Don't be depressed. Just know that there's opportunities and there's tons of people out there to help you. It just might take a minute.
One thing that you made me think of, Tyler, is I've met so many guys. This applies to me, and I don't know. Me and you have never had this conversation, what I'm about to say now. But I've met so many guys that in high school they were not the smartest. They were not the guy that was most likely to succeed. They wasn't necessarily the most popular guy. But man, the cats that I meet now, they are so successful in the work that we do, and how they, I mean, bruh, the level of success that they're having, even myself, it doesn't even match where we were 20, 30, or however many years ago. And I love how you said about sometimes we feel small about ourselves because maybe we didn't go the traditional route. We didn't go that.
I know I did, forever
Absolutely.
not having a college degree, but when I learned skills and I started being appreciated
Yep.
for the skills I learned and the hard work, it takes that feeling away.
It
That's why
takes that
learning
feeling
skills,
away.
learning skills and learning a trade, learning something to be good at, it helps make that feeling disappears very quickly.
Absolutely. I mean, sometimes if you go and you talk about your qualifications and all the skills that you've acquired, we do have documents and papers and things. Man, sometimes you just look at that long list of stuff with all these fancy names on it, that are requirements, federal requirements and things that we have to have. And you just say to yourself, yeah, I did that. I learned that new skill, because some of the stuff, it's a new skill when you have to move from level to level or labor grade to another labor grade and stuff like that, right? You move from a laborer to an operator, or from an operator. You may not have grew up working on a farm. Some guys already came into the job being able to operate some equipment. But everybody, that's not the case. So when you start learning new skills, like you're talking about the hydrostatic testing, doing high pressure tests, the stuff that I work with and the stuff that you work with, the reason why safety is so important, this stuff can kill you. And when this stuff erupts or goes off, it ain't taking usually one or two people with it. You know what I'm saying? It's destroying property. So we have to be skilled and trained and highly competent at the work that we do. And trust me, the people that do this work, we are very, very professional.
Yeah. You always have those outliers of people that have bad attitudes and all that you might run into, or the younger kids working highway work or things like that.
Yeah.
That doesn't represent the whole,
No.
And one important thing is that guy that's moving traffic cones or anything like that, their education, their training, right? You don't see that. Like I said, you can't explain the training, the skills you learn in words. It's not
Absolutely.
possible. That's what makes it very hard as a man or a woman. When you have a career, you have skills. It's hard to talk to people that don't do that job because they don't understand the effort and what it takes to do it.
And what we do.
That conversation piece is why it's so important to talk to people that know or are in the same business as you, because if not, it's very difficult to have those conversations because people don't know.
Yes.
It's not a fault of their own.
Yes.
It's one of those things where it is what it is.
Now, this is something we have not talked about, but I want to bring this up before we wrap this conversation up.
All right.
What we're talking about is not just, we're talking about options outside of college, but we're talking about skill trade jobs that are recession proof. Y'all need to get that. Y'all need to really let that sink in, taste it, savor it. Go ahead, put it on your tongue, lick the barbecue fingers or what I just said off your fingers. Recession proof. Look here, when COVID came, I was still going to work. Had no reduction in pay, no reduction in hours, because that union patch on your shoulder carries a lot of weight. No layoff, still going to work. Highways empty because folk was getting sent home.
Like safety was huge during COVID times,
I'm trying to tell you. Hey, I keep telling y'all, we trying to help you. We're trying to help you, but look here. We're trying to bring a level of conversation to really help to improve the lives of people. We want to help other people excel. College is not for everybody, but we're trying to tell you, you can be extremely successful if you go and stick your foot in the door of skilled trades, construction, HVAC, plumbing, welding, electrical stuff. You can be very, very successful. The energy field, the natural gas field that we work in, we also, because we work for utility companies, we're connected to the electric, side of the business. These guys that are linesmen, when storms happen, right, while you sleep, or you calling talking about my electric out, when y'all gonna get me back on? There's a guy up climbing poles or out at a substation or doing the work to make sure that our infrastructure stays in place. When you warm in the wintertime, you can thank me and Tyler that your gas is still on in the wintertime. And even when you're over there cooking on your stove, gas or electric, it don't even matter. You can thank Tyler and myself for helping you to be able to cook dinner for your family. We touch so many different areas of our communities that people don't realize. And we're often that silent, I like to say the silent, quiet addition to your family that you don't even realize. So much of your life revolves around what we do and the infrastructure that we maintain and make sure that we constantly are keeping the deliverability to our customers so that you have no interruption in your life. And if you do, we like to minimize it. We like to leave everything just the way better than it was when we got there. So if we come in with new construction, when we leave, we want to leave your community better than we found it. The work that we do is valuable, and there is so much opportunities in the type of work that we do. I don't know if you really understand the things that Tyler said, but I hope y'all watch this video at least twice, because he spit out some gold, some nuggets about talking to people, about the getting a suite or a combination of a collection of skills under your belt and becoming good at what you do. And then once you get that skill, moving up and get just as good as the next skill. So man, this conversation here, I want to push it. This is probably one of the best videos that I've done, because we really are showing people that you have options. If college is just not for you, this guy's 29 years old and he is very successful. I don't know no other way to say it, but I'm telling you, look into these opportunities. Get your newspaper or online. Now so much stuff is online. Go and set your profiles up. Look into getting these jobs, because they can change your life. This company that I work for changed my life and the life of my family. I mean, am I lying, Tyler?
No, you're telling the truth, man. Like I said, ask those questions. If you're, same thing with swimming, right? It relates to what we're talking about. If you're not moving, you're sinking, right? So if you feel comfortable with something, learn something new, right? It never hurts to learn something new. Ask those questions. Take those opportunities that might scare you, right? And always move forward. Like I said, winning to me, the definition of that to me is being better than I was yesterday. Which is maybe I answer one more email today. Maybe I work on learning how to write a little bit better today. So I write better today than I did yesterday. Maybe it's just learning on how to have a better conversation with somebody, or maybe it's just going, hey, let me look at a new skill I can learn to do a little bit better at my job. So just being better than what you were yesterday is the key. And like I said, whether you work at McDonald's, whether you're just out of high school, whether you work at Walmart, Meijer, Kroger, it doesn't matter. There's always an opportunity, but you got to ask those questions, and you cannot. I don't care who you are, and I can't stress this enough.
Come on.
There is no success without hard work. So if you think it's going to be easy, that's not what we're telling you. It's not going to be easy. You can't just grab it. The foot in the door might be the easy part, but after that, it's hard. You got to work, right? So
Tyler, you want to hear something funny? This is going to trip you out. Yeah. Somebody actually told me, that on the Working People's Podcast, they told me I should put on like a tie and a suit and a shirt, and I should look like really. I'm like, no, it's called the Working People's Podcast for a reason. We want to show average, everyday working people that you can be successful, that you can be financially what's the word? Financially secure, stable, and be a working person and build wealth for your family. If you save your money, be financially, we're not flashy. We
James,
drive pickup
I
trucks.
know a couple millionaires, people that have, legit millionaires. They own businesses and they wear clothes from I mean, Dollar General. They drive a rusted out truck because they spend money on going on vacation or retirement plans or investing it back in their businesses to make more money down the road.
Yes,
It's not about wearing
and
a tie or having Ray-Ban glasses or, doing my hair and not wearing a ball cap.
come
I
on,
make great money. I have a great career, right? I travel all over the globe for work. And if you looked at me and I was outside doing what I love to do, riding my Harley Davidson, I have tattoos, tattoo sleeve, and all that. You wouldn't think that I do what I do. You wouldn't think that I work for a global business. You wouldn't think that I work from North America all the way to Australia to the UK. I advise on documents that have to do with structuring a company's HSE system. I work on documents that affect a company globally. But looking at me when I'm riding
absolutely.
my Harley Davidson, you wouldn't think that. You just think I'm some tatted guy with a beard that's riding a motorcycle. Perception, man. It's not about wearing. I'll wear a tie if you want, but I'm still wearing my boots and the t-shirt. Might look a little funny, but I'll put the tie on.
Facts.
Yeah. So
Bro,
the
that's
world economics,
hilarious.
man, they're missing the point of your podcast if that's what they're focused on.
Right. You're missing the point. And then the part that gets me is like we talked about in this video is, ladies, look, if you if you are struggling in your relationship life, could it be that you have put some basic looking, non fancy dressed guy, blue collar, hardworking dude, just stuck him in your friend zone? So if you want a husband, look in your friend zone. He could be right there in front of your face.
Yeah, and it's not saying that people wear ties and suits or drive Bentleys and all that what you think you want is bad. We're just telling you there's more options. Just like jobs, there's more options for people. Give
Yeah.
somebody a second chance because that loyalty doesn't come in a BMW.
And guess what you could do? If you don't like the color of his socks, he makes so much money. You can go shopping. He won't mind. He give you his little debit card, credit card, whatever. You could spend some of his money and buy him a new wardrobe. And he won't, within reason. Don't get too crazy now, because we ain't gonna be doing all that. But if you don't like the way he look, help him to go shop. Take him shopping. Take him to go, because
Some
a lot of
compromise,
times,
man. Sitting on the same topic you're talking about. My parents have been, married and together over 40 years.
come on.
And they are not the same people that they were when they first got married. You changed your clothing, the way you talk, how you act, how you argue, different things like that. You change everything. So just because you don't like them today, like I said earlier, their job, what they do, all that, it might not be fancy, but what you think you want isn't always what you actually need.
Come on.
You know,
Come on. We're
I,
trying to
I mean,
hope
I'm a
you.
perfect example of that. I used to go after, the typical person that a guy wants,
Oh,
like that, But like my girlfriend now, right? I love her to death. She's absolutely beautiful, most beautiful woman in the world to me, than anybody else I see on the street anywhere, right? But all the other times, people are beautiful for different reasons, Luckily
yes.
with her, she's intelligent, she's physically beautiful and attractive. She has a great job, a great head, treats me amazing. But you got to look more than just looks, some of the times.
Yes.
Luckily, my girl has everything, the whole package. But sometimes you can't
Hey.
just look at the looks because they're not a good person.
Hey.
You know?
I love it.
Yeah.
I love it. This is awesome. Look here. If you see this dude riding through town, y'all make sure that y'all shout him out and be like, "Yo, Tyler, I saw you on the Working People's podcast. What's up, dude? You're a cool guy." Hey, but do me a favor though. Can y'all throw us some likes on the videos? I know that a lot of people, some the videos be having like nice views and
Yeah.
stuff. But come on, help a brother out. What's wrong with me knowing that you watched the video because you pressed the like button and I was able to go back and see who pushed the like
Hey,
button?
whether you agree with what you said, whether you don't agree with what we said, do it anyway. If you got a different opinion, drop it. It's not nobody's right
Please,
or wrong. It's just
yeah,
our opinion. Drop your opinion. If you
tell
don't
us.
put my contact info, it won't let me comment. But you're more than welcome to put my name and my email down
Yes,
there for me, James. And if
I will do.
anybody has a question, anybody wants to follow up, anybody even wants to look at some job opportunities that I may have, or I have a network of friends that may have, drop me an email. I'll get back to you. I always try to.
Yes,
I
yes.
am all about helping people. If I help you, you get a job today at my company or another company, and in 2 weeks from now you're higher up than I will ever be. I'll shake your hand and give you a pat on the back and say
Come
congrats.
on.
I'm
Me
not mad.
too. Facts. Me too.
I'm all
That's
about
true.
helping everybody, man. This world's too much about being stingy. You got to
Man,
help
come
people,
on.
right?
And that's why I believe God keeps blessing us because of that. Because we share it, you know?
Absolutely, man. That's why I appreciate this podcast you do and everything. I mean, we got a little off topic sometimes, but it's what happens, conversation. But the whole point is that there's opportunities, right? What you see is
Opportunities.
not always what you get, and what you get isn't always what you can get.
And what you get may not always be on your list of preferences.
No, no, I'm not.
Open your eyes and look
I thought I'd be
around.
in Florida with a giant boat, a giant house on the beach, and all that by now. But I didn't win the lottery, so. But I'm happy
Hey,
with what I got, man. You got to be grateful. You got to be grateful for what you have, because a lot of people have less, some people have more, but you really have to take a look and be grateful for what you have.
you say you didn't win the lottery? It just depends on how you look at that, though.
I didn't win the money lottery, I should say.
Right.
Yeah, I won good. I got a good family, a good job, a great partner in my life. A lot of good opportunities, but it was a lot of sacrifice, a lot of hard work. So, like I said, a lot of opportunities there, especially right now with this time. Positions that might not have been open to you before because of the lack of employees right now. There's a lot of positions you could take. So, the one takeaway is
Yeah.
be
Yeah.
confident. Whether you're not or you aren't,
Yes.
you fake it till you make it, and I mean that with confidence. If you keep telling yourself to be confident, you're going to be. But don't let anybody
Yes.
tell you you're small. Don't let anybody say that you don't have enough, or you're not worth it, or you can't be something. Right?
Yes.
There's millionaires that became millionaires overnight. I mean,
Absolutely.
Jeff Bezos started out selling books out of a garage. Okay, and he's one of the richest men in the world.
Facts.
Depending on the day, him or Elon Musk. But
Right.
it's all about those opportunities. Like I said, if you're not confident, you want to have a conversation on how you can feel a little bit more confident, how you can get some skilled trades, whatever. Just shoot me an email. I'll get back with you. I don't have no problem having a
Yeah.
conversation with you.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'll
Even
make
if I
sure I
don't
put
like you, we
your
just become
name and
friends.
your email address in the comment section.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So that's the one thing I wanted to say is, just be better than you were yesterday, and you'll be all right.
And the takeaway that I want to give everybody is: look, share this video with your cousin Nims, with your if you have some children, some sons in particular, daughters. Share this video with them. Show them, look, they have some options. They have some other opportunities. The reason why a lot of people don't follow a certain path is because they don't even know that path exists.
Mm-hmm.
And what I wanted this conversation with Tyler to be about is to show you there's a path out there that you can take that will lead you to a whole new world. I know it sounds like it's a cliche-ish, like a cliche, and it sounds like he's just saying something because he's just trying to conjure up some views. No, I'm really trying to help you. I'm really trying to help you. There are opportunities out there that will change your life, and change will literally propel you to another level of, I'm telling you, will change your life. This opportunity that go to work every day has changed my life. And Tyler will tell you the same. He's told you in this video, he didn't really know what he wanted to do with his life. He had great mentors. His
I
dad
screwed up a
is
lot,
number
man.
one. Come on
Along the
now.
way.
And at 29 years old, he's traveling all over the world. He's a blue collar guy. He works in the energy, natural gas field. He works in safety, occupational safety and health. What he's doing, he's very successful. And I want you all to have that opportunity. So I'm going to put Tyler's name and his email in the comment section. Tell your sons and daughters, because a lot of y'all are my age and you got kids that are 20, 25, and they still trying to find themselves. And college don't work for them. Show them this video. Show them a young man, their age, that they can identify with. Because some of y'all like, well, but James looks so young and black don't crack and all that stuff. But I'm still old. I'm old enough to be this dude's dad.
Yeah.
So I wanted y'all to see a young man being successful doing this. so that you can see that there are opportunities that exist out there, and they may not take you down the path of going to college, and you can still be extremely successful. We ain't hating on degrees. We've said that 37 times now in this video. We ain't hating on degrees, but what we are telling you is
For the people
you can be successful without it.
Yeah, and I mean, my company in particular, I can't speak for them, but what I can say is that we offer internships. We offer summertime help. We offer mentorship programs to where you come and work for us. We have tier programs, things like that. You want to work for us and then go to school, we have educational programs to where they'll help pay, percentage of your work. If you're working and your education benefits you for that job and that role to move up in the company and do things and help the company, they'll pay 75% of what it costs for you to go to school. All you got to do is do a good job, pass, and prove that you're passing. So my company does have a lot of opportunities for college. Might not be right now, but it might be right for you later on. Those are choices you have to make. And like you said, for the people that are probably going to look at this and go, well, why are you telling people not to go to school? That's not what we're saying. This is for the people that either can't, don't want to, want to do something different, right?
Yeah, and it's okay. And so here's our infomercial. Here's the infomercial, because a lot of times they sell you with the big stuff, but this is true. This ain't no cap. This straight no cap. If you want to come out of high school and make 6 figures, you better do like my brother. I'm trying to help you. You better look into these skilled trades, because I'm telling you, 6 figures is easy money. It's like just going to work. Ain't talking about half guys only work overtime and can make that. Mm-hmm. So if you want to be making good money, 6 figures, I've changed your life financially, be able to do some things for your family that you never thought you'd be able to do, and truly be able to travel and to live life without the struggle, you still got to be good and responsible with your money. Mm-hmm. You can't be no fool, right? No, but if you want to have that as an opportunity, come on now. You watch the Working People's podcast. We'll show you how to make sure that you do the right thing with your cash, with your money. But this right here, these are opportunities, man. I'm telling you, if you want to be able to make 6 figures, because I'm telling y'all right now I might be hating on degrees. I know a whole lot of folk with them that ain't making nowhere near. That's all I'm saying. Tyler, you got anything else you want to wrap this thing up? Because I'm about to start offending people, and I don't want to do that because we've been real good.
No. Just another thing. Like I said, I made a lot of mistakes financially, with work, with positions, with opportunities, because I was scared to ask questions, because I was not confident in what I was doing, and because I didn't put the effort in to learn my job to make sure I was confident. So take those opportunities, ask those questions, be better than what you were yesterday, right? And I'm not saying that this is going to happen tomorrow. I'm not saying that it'll happen in the next 5 years. I can't guarantee that to every single person. So for those that might say, well, that's easy for you to say, it is, because it worked out. It might not work out for everybody, but you won't know until you get the chance, or you try to make the chance happen. So,
thanks.
Yep, be better than what you were yesterday. Ask questions.
I got something that I want to show you real quick. I want to do this. Check this out. Hold up, Tyler, before we go. I got to do this. You just gave me a great idea.
Oh, man, what do you got going on?
Watch. I got to do this. Just give me a second. I'm going to put it in here. Okay. All right. Hold up. I got to put it on the screen because this is great, man. This fits everything that we've been talking about. This is... Let me find where I put it. Okay, hold up. I put it right... Oh, where did I put it? Okay, hold on just a second. Because I saved it. I just got to find where I put it. Did I put it in here? Nope, I put it... There it is. Okay, okay, I'm going to share my screen. This is awesome. Look at this. Come on out. College may not be for you. Show me the money. Skilled trades, y'all. Skilled trades. Get into doing this work that we doing. And you'll be able to go to all your friends, go to the open houses. You can go right up in the church and be like, show me the money. This is awesome. This is what we have done today in this conversation. We are showing you the money. Go ahead and get your foot wet. Go into these, knock on some doors. Tyler, I'm putting his name and his email. If you want to have some questions for him and he can kind of give you some pointers, maybe point you in the right direction. Shucks, I'm not trying to put him on the spot, but he might even say, hey, what you telling me you want to do? We got an opportunity in the summertime. Do an intern program. You don't know what doors might open for you, So if you want to see the money, we're showing it to you right now so that you can go and get yourself a very successful career.
Tell you what, I got 22 positions open right now all over the U.S. Michigan, California, Rhode Island, down in Georgia, Alabama, Texas, all over the place, man. All the nice places too. You want an opportunity to move out to California and live there? We got one if the skills fit and everything. The opportunity presents itself. So, if you're interested in something and you think you might fit, let me know. If you don't, I apologize. I might look at a resume or talk to you and go, unfortunately, I can't help you. Those situations do happen, but if not, and you do fit, I got 22 positions open right now. Male, female, it doesn't matter. If you fit the bill, you fit the bill.
Y'all hear that? Come on now. All I'm going to say is, look, this has been a great conversation. And Tyler, unless you got something else to say, I got to go.
No, sir. I appreciate it, man. Thanks again. And like I said, I'm glad you do this.
Hey, do me a favor. On YouTube, press that subscribe button. Throw some thumbs up over there on YouTube. Also, drop some comments in the comment section and ring that bell so you get notified when we upload videos. So right here on my Facebook page, I'm telling y'all, don't miss this content. Don't miss this video because this right here, don't miss this opportunity. Will y'all please do me a favor? Do it for me because I'm asking you to. If you're watching this video or watch even a portion of it, would you please press that like, thumbs up button. That helps this video get into the Facebook algorithm. Because if you may not need this conversation, there are people that you know that do. And now I'm asking you also to share this video with them. If you need to fast forward to the portion where it became an aha moment for you, do that. But show them this video. You can send it through the share button right directly to Pookie. Send it to Pookie. Pookie been running the streets. You can see how talented he's, smart kid, but Pookie out here running the streets. Do you want jail for him or do you want to show him the money? Because that's what we're doing. We're showing them the money. And Tyler said he got 22 opportunities for the right candidate, somebody that fits the profile and that got the skills that can do the work. Because I'm trying to help you here. So share this video, okay? If you don't want it, if you don't like it, it don't fit you, you know somebody that do. You got some kids. You got some sons and daughters. Some of y'all old enough to have some grandkids. Do you want them to keep walking in our foolishness? Following the path and road that sometimes we follow and being irresponsible and making bad decisions? Or do you want to point them in the right direction and show them the money? So all I'm trying to do is help you. So if it don't fit you, show it to your grandkids. Yeah, 65 years old, show it to your grandkids. This can change their life. School and college is not for everybody. And some people, like he said, his friend, maybe they went and got a degree, but it just wasn't for them. Show them this video. We're talking about changing your life, and skilled trades is a way to do it. So thanks y'all for watching, but I said it, I got to go. So
I appreciate it, James, man. It was good talking to you as always.
We out.